Sturgeon just fed her to the lions. Leaders don't do that. Real leaders don't. Real leaders stand beside their troops. This one is coronavirus in Scotland. Calderwood agreed to go after a long chat with First Minister. Now, basically what's happened is that this lady on the right-hand side here, who's like the in charge of the health briefings, and she's got quite a good career doing things in midwifery and helping lots of things for years and years. But she fronted up with "I want a referendum" woman. The briefings, and in those briefings she was saying that, you know, you need to stay at home. Now she went to she lives in Edinburgh, and she's got a second house, holiday home, call it what you will, in Fife, up beside Dundee. I don't know, 60, 80 mile away, something like that. And she, a week ago, she decided to go there. And nobody spotted her. And then she's been fronting up the TV. And in this past weekend, people have spotted her. And either they've told the press, or the press got wind of it in some way, or someone took a photograph or whatever. But came out that she had broken her own advice. You've also got to call into question here the judgment of this woman, "I want a referendum." Because her initial reaction was to obfuscate, cover it up, push it to one side. Now I can understand that she wanted to keep the expertise of this lady on board. But she was basically saying it's okay for us, the people in charge, to do that. And if we get caught out, because this lady was cautioned, the doctor lady was cautioned by the police, it's okay for us to do it. If we get caught, all we need to do is say, "Mea culpa, we're sorry." And mea culpa is like Latin or something like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I tried to get away with it, but I got caught. And I'm sorry, I'm not doing it again." And this woman, "I want a referendum," wanted to go along with that. And here we've got Priya, be in some ancient Scottish language, which is neither here nor there. And she said her view was that she's now saying that Calderwood should resign. Now, that didn't come about because of our innate grasp of the situation. It came about because of the volume of emails in Twitter, in social media, that piled in on this woman. Now, the SNP are a left-wing organisation, and they're used to bombarding people and slagging people off on the centre ground or the right-hand part of politics. They're not used with getting bombarded themselves. And that's a crucial thing, is that for years and years, left-wing people, the media especially, will smooth over what left-wing people do. And if you go on to the Twitter or YouTube or any of these sort of media places, left-wing people will hammer into people and try and drag them down like a bunch of hyenas, jackals. And that's what's happened to this woman. And I think they just can't believe it. This woman can't believe it. Look, we're left-wing, we're SNP, we want the revolution and stuff like that. But the people that are asked to shoulder these burden are like, well, we are citizens. We want if you're saying everybody has to do it, then everybody has to do it. And she should be treated no differently. A gross misjudgment by Mrs. Referendum here. Huge misjudgment by this lady, the doctor. Nice jacket, by the way, isn't it? Nice jacket. Mrs. Sturgeon told the BBC Breakfast that she had a long conversation. Basically what that means is, look, I cannot front it up anymore. There's too many people slagging you off, and I didn't want any of the shit to end up on me, so you're going to have to go on. But don't worry about it. We'll make sure you're okay. You'll get a pension, or we'll get some money, or we'll get you a job somewhere, blah, 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 blah. And put you out of the door because too much of it is coming back on me. With the top medic, in which she came to the same view. She's got a banana. Mrs. Sturgeon's got a banana. Either you get out of that door or a banana. Now, here's your pension, here's some money. But I don't want any of this shit coming on to me. Now, the woman's not going to say, well, I argued with Sturgeon saying I should have done, could have, would have, and I'm going to do it again. She's in a position that she can't maintain. She realises that. So it was 2 trips. If it had been the 1 trip, she might have got away with it. But the 2 trips, it's blatantly obvious you knew what you were doing. Could her husband not have went there if there was something urgent to see to at the house? Possibly. She apologised on Sunday afternoon and quit the role later in the evening. Sad that someone with those qualifications is lost, but she won't be, because she'll still be able to help, I'm sure. In an interview, Mrs. Sturgeon was asked whether she had made the eventual decision that resignation was the inevitable outcome. So as she's saying yes, she waffled on. We, Sturgeon and Calderwood, had a long conversation last night. This is how long it would have been. You're out. That's it. It was my view, but she came to the same view. She doesn't want to say yes, so she's waffling on as all politicians do. We came to that by mutual agreement. Yeah, walk the plank. Didn't get any shit on me, and we look after you. But it was my firm view by last night that was the correct course of action. This bit, my firm view by last night. When it initially happened, it wasn't a firm view. It's only because people have piled in on her, right, and thrown shit at them, that she's changed her view. An initial response was to protect the woman and say, no, now it's changed, we'll just keep her in the background, now it's going to happen, she'll not do it again, but I still need her advice. Dr. Calderwood had been given a police warning for breaking the lockdown rules after the Scottish Sun published photographs taken on Saturday of her and her family. Not just her, wasn't just, well, we're going to the house, we're in the car, I think I left the gas on, I'm up there, I'm in the house, no, gas is, right, that's it, back. Right? Not that her husband couldn't have done that by himself. I don't know what his job is. But if he had done it, then straight to the house, straight back. But they didn't. They went there for a night out, stayed there, have a bit of a jolly. And her rationale was, I've been working hard, 24/7, for the last X number of days. But it was her and her family visiting Earlsferry in Fife. It's more than an hour's drive from her main home in Edinburgh. So what was I saying, 60 mile? Call it 60 mile. Did she have to fill up for petrol? Maybe it's not. So she could have went in the car there and back, but not her. Her husband could have done it. She'd fronted TV, radio ads. Sturgeon said that Calderwood had made a mistake. She made a serious mistake, and people are right to be angry about it. I.e., I didn't want any of this shit on me. Sturgeon said that, well, it was right for the official to apologise and cease to be the face of the public health, that she candidly had hoped to continue to call on her expertise. Nothing wrong with that, you cannot blame that. Sturgeon added, by last night it became clear, because people were slagging us off, that the bigger risk was the damage it would be doing to the very important message that the government is putting forward right now. So these are not easy judgments. When you're playing with the big boys, love, you got to expect people to tackle you. You know? Sturgeon said, this is 2:30 in the afternoon. Sturgeon said that Calderwood would continue to provide government with scientific medical advice. Calderwood told the same briefing that there were no excuses to visit the second home in Fife. And what she did was wrong. I'm sorry, it will not happen again. Right? A couple of hours later, Sturgeon's back on there, issuing a statement saying that Calderwood would be withdrawn, because obviously they started to get slagged off, from the media briefings for the foreseeable future. The government would be revising its public information campaign, i.e. she would get taken out of any bit. So another 5 hours later, like 4:30, before 10 o'clock at night, that's 5.5 hours later basically, Calderwood resigns from a post saying, I'm deeply sorry for my actions and the mistakes I've been made. So it's like a public flogging. Say you're sorry. So why she had to go by some political editor? What on earth was she thinking? This was either grossly naive, achingly foolish, or staggeringly arrogant, and either way the chief medical officer had to go. Well, it wouldn't have went unless the Twitterati and that had jumped up and down. As the health secretary made clear, it was about a welling up of public anger, not just the customary keyboard warriors of the Twitterati, but the broad public were absolutely furious for being asked to bloody blah blah blah. I think the public made that concern and frankly that anger unknown, right? So they've just dumped her. Sturgeon, like, you're one of us, you're in my team, I'm staying with it, right? As soon as the heat comes on her, get out, no, overboard, love. What Sturgeon should have said, right, she's made a mistake, she's too valuable to lose, and I'm keeping her. If you didn't like that, tough. And I think more people would have respected her for that. But she's just caved. She was so important at 2:30 in the afternoon, but she's not so important at 10 o'clock at night. You didn't want friends like Sturgeon, do you? The initial idea that she would stay in office, still taking her salary, still offering advice, but somehow hidden behind the scenes in Edinburgh, and presumably still longing for the sun-kissed shores of Fife and a second home. There's no need for that. That's just ad hominem attack on the lady. There's no need for that. That lady's probably done more in public service helping people out than this reporter level do. So there's no need to have a personal attack on her, right? She's made a bit of a mistake. But if she's good, she's got the expertise, fine, slag her off, tell her she did wrong, but you still need her to play for you. Sturgeon should have said that. She should have got out and said, I'm not letting somebody with these qualifications go. She's still working for us. If you don't like that, get shot at me as well. But she didn't. She ran away from it, hid behind it. This is more of a reflection on Sturgeon than it is on the doctor. Doctor made a mistake, fine. Sturgeon just fed her to the lions. Leaders don't do that. Real Sturgeon just fed her to the lions. Leaders don't do that. Real leaders don't. Real leaders stand beside their troops. They take the heat. They take the heat, not the troops. Then they take the troop into the office and give them a good talking to. but in public, they back them. Like I say, this is a reflection on Sturgeon and her lack of ability to manage and be a leader than anything else. Hang ten.